Now, very often, products travel through all different channels. In this example, the producer sells to a distributor, to various dealers, to sort of business consumers. It sells to retailers, to final consumers. It also sells through the internet. It also has a sales force that sells directly to some business consumers. The point is that there are very often, again, with different target markets, different channels. The business consumers in segment 1 may be very large, and therefore they merit having, the company has its own sales force contacting them. With business segment 2, they may be very small, and therefore they go through more of an indirect channel. So again, depending on the target market, will determine the strategy that you will use for your distribution channel. Now, there are all sorts of different types of intermediaries. Some are sort of company-owned, particularly in the business-to-business side of it. The company may have its own sales force. They may have agents that are involved. They may have distributors that are involved. There's all sorts of different ways that channels can be laid out. And so when they look at the distribution of products, you have to think about sort of how many intermediaries do I want? Do I want a very long channel? Do I want a very flat channel? And it depends on the resources that the organization has, the skills that they have. If they've got a lot of money, maybe they can control and have a shorter distribution channel. But if they don't have a lot of money, or they're operating, or they have customers in remote areas, they might need a longer distribution channel. It depends on how much help they need as well. So one of the other aspects is in terms of the types of products that they sell. To remember that convenience products require a very intensive distribution system in as many outlets as possible. So there, they might need a fairly long channel instead of selective distribution, which is sort of not all, but more than one or two, and exclusive being only in a single outlet. So it depends on the type of product as well, how big the distribution channel is. And finally, sort of you have to think about what are the responsibilities of the members. Do we need them to break bulk? In other words, to get from very large quantities to small quantities, to bring an assortment together, to provide, to take a lot of risk, to provide inventory, to do the physical shipments. What functions do we want? And the more functions that we have, the longer the distribution channels are required. Now, marketing logistics is the actual movement, the physical movement of the product through the distribution channel. It's a part of doing business. It is a cost. It's something that has to be factored into the end user cost of the business. Logistics sort of used to be just the trucking, the physical movement of product, and they now realize that logistics is part of delivering customer satisfaction. It's getting the product to the customer where the customer wants to buy it, when they want to buy it, and in the right condition. So if you're selling vegetables, it's got to be fresh and arrive to consumers, very, very quickly. And so realize that part of the distribution channel of actually physically getting the product to the consumer, greatly leads to customer satisfaction. And so logisticians, really have changed the way that they view it. It's not just, getting product from A to B in a cost-effective way, but it's doing it so that it's, it leads to customer satisfaction. So this is why a lot of companies talk about supply chain management. And that's looking at the distribution channel from the suppliers that the organization has to its own intermediaries and channel partners. So it's looking at the entire distribution channel, and it may, stretch back. Like, for example, you have an automobile manufacturer. They buy tires, and the tire manufacturer